You know, there's several steps that have to be taken when you're actually doing an agreement for purchase from somebody. Now, we don't typically use the word contract. In fact, my agreements say agreement. They don't even say contract. Contract is a very scary word to people, and it makes them think they need an attorney. So I have one of my agreements right here. And if you can zero in on that, it says agreement for the sale and purchase of real estate. It doesn't say contract. Get rid of the scary words. You got to talk at a third grade level. For me, it's pretty easy. I don't know that I've ever advanced past that, actually. But there are certain steps to do when you're doing this. And the first thing is you got to make sure you got a good deal, number one, because I'm going to assume that you've already negotiated the deal, and now it's just a matter of going through the paperwork. So we always start with some of the easiest stuff first. And what I start with, it's called the seller information sheet. And maybe you can see that. And it just gets the seller to answer questions right away. Because every time you get these minor questions answered, you're moving toward a major closing, okay? So it's real simple. Let me make sure I got your name spelled right. And the address here, just so I got it. And we need your social security number. You might start with the cell phone number and the home phone number first and the email address. Very easy, very innocuous. People sometimes get nervous with their social security number, but we need that for the title company so that they can actually transfer the title. They have to run a lien search on you. So that's very simple. So this gives all the contact information to us, my internal office, as well as the title company. And we also find out their water provider and electric provider and gas provider if there is one, so we have all the information to go forward. If there's a mortgage on the property, they have to sign a mortgage authorization because that allows us to get the information from the lender to make sure that your balance is right so that we can get it paid off, and this way there's no confusion. Okay? And that's just got the mortgage information on that. Can you see that? So we got that. So that would be like my first two steps. Oh, but whenever we go to a person's house, we bring them a mug. We bring them a little personalized gift so that they remember us. Nobody else is doing this, guys. Or if there are, very few people are doing it. But now they don't forget you. And that's exactly what we tell them. We handle that with one of our business cards. Say, hey, I wanted to leave you with a mug so you can't forget us. And you should always ask them for referrals if they know anybody else. So here's one of my agreements for the sale and purchase of real estate. And it starts out with filling in their name. You can go right in this line. You fill in their name, the name you're going to take title in, the legal description, which is usually an AppFolio number from the county website, which we usually have with us. And if you don't have it, you just put in there, legal description will be furnished forward to closing. Real simple. You don't have to have it. The street address is up here somewhere. Legal subject property. Okay. So then we have the sales price, and it's if there's a mortgage on it, it's subject to that mortgage amount, which basically gives us the amount of money that they got coming. It gives us the equity. And then right here it says payable, and that's where we define the terms. Okay. Seller will get $1,000 down to the title company and the balance at closing, or however that's going to be. And if you use my agreements, which I highly suggest you do, but I've only done this thousands of times, and we've refined these from time to time. This tells us who the title company is, and as we're going through, we get them to initial the first page. Typically, we'll get them to initial the first page. Not always, it depends on the situation, but you want to get them to have their agreement moving forward with their okay everywhere along the line. And then you get to the second page. And basically what we do is we explain everything that's on here. We just give them the nuts and bolts of it, not in great detail. But like, for example, on page 2 here, and it's only 2 pages. That's at the second page though. Here's the second page. This line says judgments, and this just explains, hey, we just got to make sure there's no judgments against you because that would come out of your equity. This test for radon gas and lead-based paint. And if the house wasn't built before 1978, there's no lead-based paint because that's when they stopped using it. Radon gas, we never check for it. And if it makes them happy, you just cross it out and initial it. This tells us when we're going to get possession, inspections, acceptances, gives them a date for accepting, and it's usually that day. Here's when we have the closing amount, or here's where the down payment goes. And it goes to the title company. Closing date, where it's going to take place, and any other agreement. So if there's creative terms, we put it right in here. And then we just ask for their okay. We don't ask them to sign the contract. We don't ask them to sign the agreement. We say, hey, Mrs. Smith, could you just give us your okay right there? Very simple, very innocuous, very easy. So that's the simple steps for signing an agreement. They work very well for me, and they'll work for you too, but you gotta get good at it. If you do something over and over and over again, like I have, you're going to get good at it, or you won't be in this business.